For this first section, we're using monochromatic colors to fill in the rectangle. So find any one color that you would like to use and try to find that color that has a couple of different shades. So I'm using a light blue, medium tone blue, dark blue, and then a white and a black for the highlights and shadows. I'm using tissue paper in this video, but you could use any material that you would like as long as you're able to find those different shades. So think about maybe some ripped up magazines and looking for different shades of purple in the different pictures. And then as far as gluing these squares down, think about what you would rather. The Mod Podge is going to create more of a glossy finish over top, so you can use that underneath and then coat that on top of the collage. Maybe test that out to see how it looks if that's something you would potentially want to use for your final project. Or a glue stick works great for this as well, just gluing these pieces down. So remember, for this first rectangle, we're cutting up squares. They do not have to be super tiny squares. The main thing I'm looking for is that you're going from dark to light in this rectangle and fading from those different values. So on the left side over here, I'm using white on top of the light blue, just spacing it out a little bit to create more of the lighter shade. And now I'm folding up this tissue paper, cutting some more squares, going in with more of the medium tone blue and fading that into the light and the white section. So that's going to help to slowly just layer things and add more value change as I'm working. So definitely work in layers. I would not just stick with one layer all the way across. So try to move the value around, similar to like what I was doing with the white section, where I was moving that light section on top of the light blue, and now I'm going in with the medium tone blue. I just added some of the light value blue on top of that as well. So I'm layering and mixing the values. If you would like to use smaller sizes in this, obviously the smaller the squares that you're cutting up, the more detailed and smooth the value change or the transition will be. So think about for your final portrait how these different sizes are looking and the size that you're going to want to use for your specific shape that you end up cutting or ripping for your final project. So if you feel like it's a challenge for you to show a value change with the size that's in this video, I would definitely recommend going smaller, but I wouldn't go much bigger than this on your final project. So definitely consider and think about the size of these shapes and the size that's going to work the best for you to put your final project together. As I'm working too, you'll notice that I'm adding the glue on top of each of these sections or on top of the paper, and that just helps to smooth it out, flatten it, make sure that there's no edges that are curling up or anything like that. But right now I'm layering a little bit of the light blue, or I'm sorry, the dark blue on top of the medium tone blue. And then right now I'm going in with the darker values. So I ended up for these darker values, finding some different darker blues, almost black areas in a magazine and cutting up those pieces. So don't feel like for this too you have to use all one material. So I'm using magazine pieces, tissue paper, so be creative with the different materials that you're using. So again, fade from dark to light using a monochromatic color for this first section.